Hello, everyone. Welcome to join this week's SIG schedule meeting. This meeting is being recorded, so being respectful for each other, it will be public on the internet. So let me share my screen. All right, can you see my screen? Hello, can you hear me? And
yeah, sorry. Wait, we can see
cool.
it.
Cool. So the first one is the in-place part vertical scaling. It's been a long discussed item, and I think has postponed for several weeks, and now it seems can be land on the 124. So Vinay, can you give a sort of update on this? Seems he's still not joined. So I will give a quick update. So basically the changes on the scheduling side is minor comparing to the changes on the kubelet and as well as others. So the basic change is that in terms of the resource update, like we changed the request of path spec, we should sort of calculate the calculate resource and check whether the feature gate is enabled and recalculate the resource request. So basically it should be like deducted and be re-added. So the old spec was deducted and the new resource is added. So the change is sort of minor, but there are some other cases need to be considered. Like in the before, we assume that the path update won't change any requeuing semantics. Like if you update, the path request will be assumed to unchanged, but now it's not the case anymore. So if a path update and this feature gate is enabled, we now should sort of trigger a requeue action. So this is also covered. And also add some other comments like, so it seems there's missing integration test to cover different kind of combination of update, different types of update, like invisible, postpone, or delay, deferred sort of things. So because there are several types of the in-place vertical update types. And also we should test how it impacts the scheduled and the unscheduled paths to make sure the behavior is as expected. And also another thing is performance. So in terms of some of updates, they are not necessarily needed to update the internal scheduling queue or scheduling cache. For example, if per update is invisible, so we don't need to bother to churn the internal cache update, right? That can save us resources. So these two are not answered yet. I will wait for Vinay to adjust. So this is basically the current progress of the part of vertical scaling in the scheduling perspective. All right, since Vinay is not here, so let's continue to the second item. So
wait 1 second.
Yeah.
There wasn't there like 2 places where you had to update code in relationship to pod requests?
You mean the calculated request resource, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah, I think you can we can change that. We can search the usage of this. I suppose like if you update a pull request and as well as some other places you need to call this function.
So wait, I got the issue here. I'm
this function seems to be unified place for all kinds of type like add, update, delete. Let me check the source code. but we can discuss these details offline because I saw
for sure
there's quite some items in the agenda. Okay, the second item is from from the brief introduction of the scheduler simulator. So basically, the background is that we have a GSOC project which aims to do some visualized simulating on the scheduling processes. Like if you can drag and drop some paths to a virtualized Kubernetes cluster and see how the scheduling work goes. So this is a project for that. And this project needs more resources like reviewers, approvers on this. So Sabushiro wants to give a brief introduction on this. So Sabushiro, I think you are online. I can transfer the sharing access to you if you cannot share your screen.
Yeah, so I'll share my screen.
Okay, thank you.
And
let me stop share myself.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for your time. Today I'd like to give a brief overview of Kubernetes scheduler simulator. And so I'm not very good at English, so please let me know if my English is unclear. So let's start it. This is Kubernetes scheduler simulator repository, and it's in SIG organization. So yeah, it's a relatively new side project of our team. So what is Kubernetes scheduler simulator? It's a simulator for Kubernetes scheduler with web UI, and we try to develop it so that it can be used like SDK. So it means just it's not just used with the web UI in the future. So in the simulator, we can simulate scheduler without running real cluster. So it works in the same way as scheduler performance test in Kubernetes repository. So it means it simulates scheduler by using only the component it needs. And in simulator, we can create resources to create a simulate cluster. So now it's support pod, node, PV, PVC, and storage classes, and currently working on support priority class. And then we can check the scheduling result of each plugins. So it's a unique sales point of this simulator. So let's see this feature with picture. Yeah, so we can create resources with YAML. And then you can see resources like this. So you can see where pods go. And you can see the result of each plugins. So for example, in this picture, so this pod for scheduling for this pod, image locally returns store 0, a score 0, and interpod affinity returns score 0 or blah blah blah. Yeah. And in this simulator, you can change configuration with Kubernetes scheduler config, and it enables you to change enabled plugin set and see how the scheduling results changes. So yeah, so Kubernetes scheduler simulator doesn't have enough contributors now, so it needs your help. So yeah, so it's because it was created by me on Google Summer of Code, and so very few people know the internal implementation detail. So yeah, we are looking for volunteers for contribution. So yeah, what do you need to join the development? So as you see, the simulator had the web front end and backend API, and for backend we use Go language, and also you need basic knowledge of scheduler. But yeah, so I'm sure most of the people at this meeting meet these requirements. And for the front end,
sorry to cut in. So yeah, how about this? Can we create an issue in this repo to listing all the shortage on resources and needed knowledge, skills, and what can benefit the contributor? So I listed the several bullets there, and I can to forward this issue to the SIG contributors, so that get more audience to get see if any contributor have interest on this.
Okay, so
yeah. In addition to that, is there like tutorial on the source code walkthrough? Either a document or a video will help the new contributors a lot.
Yeah, so we have the brief explanation for how to work it, how it works, and yeah, it's in the repository and the docs directory, maybe. So yeah, I'll share it after this meeting in the Slack. So yeah, we have documentation for how it works, but so yeah, okay, so I'll create the issue for the requirement for the development of this simulator.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, thank you. So if you get interest, I can help you. So please feel free to ask on GitHub or Slack. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, as I mentioned, as a follow-up, yeah, please create an issue listing all the content, like needed skills, what can benefit the contributors, and I will forward this to the SIG contributors.
One question: did you you're working on a cap currently of for changing a score? Did you use the simulator to help you with experiments? If that if so, you can maybe share that story as well, so that people can see the use of see how they can use a simulator to run and test their new plugins in comparison with existing plugins and whatnot.
Sorry, one more time, please.
The main question is, did you use the simulator to develop the CAP, the new CAP you're working on? Was it helpful to run your experiments?
Yeah, yeah, I'm using it with my development of the scheduler, and now it's developed to use from web UI, but we have an idea to use it for the some E3 testing or something. So we can now. So we have an idea to use it without web UI. So sorry, is this sorry, sorry. So is this what you want to ask me? Sorry.
No, not exactly, but I guess we can leave it for we can think offline because we have other topics to talk about. There's also another question in the chat. What is the best way to reach out for questions in the Slack or an issue in the repo perhaps? What is the best way for people to ask questions?
Yeah, either way it's okay for me, but so yeah, maybe issue is better to discuss or ask me some question. Yeah.
So Michelle, there is a question on the chat. So someone asked whether the simulator will print the latency of each scheduler plugin.
Yeah. So as a user, actually, in a large scale cluster, I would like to get the latency in place for every plugin. So will your simulator print the latency for your every scale run? Because I checked the UI since it only show the scheduling result, right?
Yeah, so it's only show the result of scheduler, and so I now reading your text.
Okay. And actually, I have another question: how to run this simulator? I can run it locally, right? I need a Kubernetes cluster, then run it in the Kubernetes cluster.
I don't think so. It's just
it's just a Golang server, is it?
It's just no. It's just, you can think of it just as web applications. It has the front end UI and yeah, all the cluster and node pod objects are simulated. It's just in-memory objects, not real objects.
Understand.
Yes.
This project looks awesome. Let me try first. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, let's continue on the agenda. The next item is that I'll ask whether we should to reduce the duplication, to remove the approvals from the reviewers list. I think that's a good practice, and I think the robot can still assign the PR issues to the approvals, right? I think that's a reasonable assumption. So yeah, that's a good suggestion.
The motivation here, I would like to encourage more people to become reviewers. And one way to do that is that basically we as approvers would kind of deny to review a PR unless it's already reviewed by a reviewer. And then if we remove ourselves from the reviewers list, the bot would assign another person. So that should help that. Of course, if there is a critical bug fix that needs immediate attention, we would step in. But in general, we would like to encourage people to seek for a reviewer status and help with these reviews to kind of be a first line of reviews for the majority of PRs. So the only problem today is that if we remove ourselves today, we only have 2 reviewers left.
All right. Yeah, because Deems did a owner cleanup recently to remove the inactive members and reviewers from the owner file. So yeah. Well, that's fine.
First, I guess I don't think well, I don't know if both the reviewers are here. There's Alex and the other one was Dave, I think. But I think it's too much burden for 2 people to do this. So I don't think it's something we can do today. But if we can encourage people to get more reviews done and then apply for reviewer status, then maybe in I don't know, 3 months, 4 months, we can do this move. So that's a call for everybody to do reviews now. Yeah, any concerns? Any
No,
any
not
questions?
at all. Yeah, I can see the motivation here, and to get more people involved, get familiar with the code base, and share the workload to review PRs. Yeah, no problem at all.
So I have a question.
Sounds good. Else? Yeah.
Oh, this is Sean. Yeah. So I'm assuming this is in the main KK repo, and these PRs are labeled with like a SIG scheduling label on them or something like that.
Yes, I mean, it's mainly for the KK repo because I guess for reviewer status, if you already have contributions to other repos, we can still consider. But approvers is a more important, or it's a role with higher responsibility within KK. So for KK, we would like to have reviewers. We would like you to have reviews and changes to KK. But for reviewer status, if you have significant contributions to, let's say, Scheduler Simulator or the Scheduler plugins or the what's the other one? The descheduler. We can consider you for reviewer status, and you would enter the assignments. I think that makes sense, right, Wei?
Yes. Yeah, I think that is in accordance to the community's guidance on how to qualify a reviewer.
Okay, that's all I have to say for that one.
Okay.
I'll send an email to Kubernetes 6 so that more people are aware.
Okay. And the next item is that we recently are discussing about to unify some batching workers and create a working group for collectively discuss the items to be done. So yeah, thank you for Aldo creating this working group creation request, and I think the motivation, the items on the what works have been done, what works will be complicated are all listed here, and which SIGs will be involved, etc., etc. So yeah, the thing is that we do want to unify the efforts across the ecosystem to reduce duplication and focus on the discussion in one place. And also we want to provide the native Kubernetes support on the batch workers. So creating the working group is the first step to get all the things on the plate and have a unified place to discuss. And if you haven't been aware of this, just refer to this email. And also thank you for Aldo again to creating this charter, draft charter, and you can review that. So basically, a working group is not a SIG. So it doesn't necessarily need to host the code. You just need to discuss the items and the coordinator, the works to be done across different SIGs or different maybe external projects, etc. So yeah, so working group has a smaller scope than a SIG. Yeah, if I'm interested, you can join the SIG, the working group meeting regularly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to add something to that, Aldo?
No, you cover everything. We have to wait for steering to give us a green light.
Yeah.
To proceed.
Yeah. So the last part is issue triage. I will basically bypass the first two because we will run out of time almost, and I will leave the time to the last items. And Malo, do you want to briefly to comment what actions need to be done in the SIG scheduling and what the blocker here?
Okay. So,
open.
Yeah, it's not a blocker. There's a whole bunch of use cases that I've concatenated from various companies, not just Intel. As background, I'm at Intel. But this is Nokia. I've talked to Ericsson, Cisco. There's a couple others. I'm sorry, they're Red Hat. There's at least one other that are interested in various versions of the CPU pieces. So more towards the bottom are the set of use cases that we're looking at. And I'm aware that some of them can be handled with current scheduling tools, et cetera, but it's not really clear in the documentation on how to. So the thing my team does is it's resource management within Kubernetes, and it's a whole cloud team at Intel. So we have a few engineers, so we can work through and fix the documentation and also put in work to address a bunch of the cases. So some of it's topology aware scheduling, some of it's topology manager. So I really would like feedback on what is already possible and where to look. Swati is part of this effort as well. Swati is called.
So basically, the story for topology aware supporting on NUMA has been completed on the schedule plugin repo. So basically, I think that the core dependencies on whether core Kubernetes repo accepts the node resource topology API or not. So for now, it's pending for a long time. So like Alexa and the Swati, they wanted to go, to incubate the feature faster. So they go another way to get the API defining as a CRD, and so that the scheduler plugins can satisfy the scheduling requirements. So that is basically the current path. So, but in terms of the CPU, like dynamic and static view support, I'm lack of knowledge to know the current status of how the core Kubernetes repo accepted the API or not. If it's in progress and it's promising to get it merged into the K/K, I would say the scheduling implementation will be a lot easier because we have the NUMA nodes as a reference, and I don't think there's a lot of blocker on the semantics to get the scheduling constraints implemented as a plugin. So that is basically, I see the roles onward.
That's really good news. If we can get that partially captured in here, that would be very helpful because we are going to have a conversation at the beginning of the year, probably with Derek Carr, Swati, and Francesca Romani, trying to get what the kubelet pieces need to be so we can get a full picture of how they interact and how to get particular use cases handled.
I didn't get that. You mean which cap to reference for you?
Oh, so it's not going to be particular. So I could use caps or whatever other information you have, but this isn't one cap, right? This is a set of use cases. So there's more than one in here. Yeah, so if you scroll down, if you scroll down, there's a pile of use cases. This is just one of them that is referenced. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the latest progress on this? How about is the kubelet or Signal willing to accept that?
So if you scroll down further, sorry, towards the bottom are the use cases concatenated. Here's your use cases. So there's a large number of use cases that I would like to find somewhere, either in documentation if it's already available, or figure out, do small targeted caps to address each one that isn't handled, that isn't already in a cap, or put resources into something that is already in a cap. So for instance, cap 2625 already has a set of use cases associated, right? Go through and figure out where we need to put resources, both on my team or whoever else is working in the SIG node or SIG scheduling, so that we can get all of these addressed.
Okay. Yeah, I will sort of catch up with kind of this status.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't see blocker on the scheduling side, basically.
Yeah, my request is to put in knowledge you already have, so that we have things to work on when we start having larger discussions, and so I know who to include.
Okay, that seems a lot of
yeah. It's a lot of items. It's not one or two, so I'm not expecting it to be addressed within this call, but I would like feedback. I'm asking for feedback.
Okay, that's good.
I suppose you're already attending Signal, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the other thing is that this kind of, I think this issue would fit within the batch working group. So in the future, hopefully we can use the batch working group to discuss this topic.
Okay, that
because
would be
it involves multiple SIGs.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one, so I'll go and find it.
Excellent. Yeah, the one problem today is that most of the people trying to work in batch are coming from scheduling. So if you already have experience with Node, that would be great to make the working group more functional, more to achieve achieve their goals easier.
Yeah, is batch generally machine learning type workflows? Is that what they normally run?
Yeah, I'm putting the and you can check the charter. Basically, I'm talking about HPC, AI, ML.
Oh, that's perfect. And, thank you.
Data processing.
Yeah, because that's where everything breaks down. Is when you try to use the system at capacity, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry, somebody else.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I would like to ask a question regarding the CPU management. Yeah, in the long term, do we consider to change the implementation like scheduler framework? For example, from what I see, different company have different scenarios. So if we can maybe could change the implementation become a parking framework, maybe more convenient to implement different customized parking for different user case. Because in my company, in our company, we just disable the CPU manager in the Kubernetes, and because we do a lot of hacky things like the co-location and the overcommit, so we have to actually we write our own agent to assign the assign the CPU set to different ports, and also we set the Luma typology for different ports. So if we can maybe become a parking framework, more convenient for different developers to develop different customized plugin for their user case.
Yeah, that fits right into the set of things we are looking at. So having that information is useful. Quick question, are you doing single socket or multi-socket?
Okay, I understand.
Are you doing single socket or multi-socket? Because that's the NUMA part. So one of them is packing, one of them is NUMA, right?
Yeah, understand. Actually, we in our company we have we do some initial things. Maybe I can share next time. Yeah, because we designed the schedule part we designed the parking framework for the CPU manager, but we haven't rolled out the production yet. Maybe we can share the design next time.
That would be great. I'm curious.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and I think we will almost work through the agenda items. Yeah, the charge issues, there are some discussion on the basically sort of the slightly change the behavior part topology spread, like whether or not to respect the chains, especially for some system generated chains, like unschedulable chains. So if you're interested in that, just jumping in the issues for the discussion. All right, I think, yeah, this is all for today's meeting. And the next meeting will be end of this year. So we will, probably cancel that, and Merry Christmas to all of you. And you all deserve a well fun vacation, and happy holidays for the Christmas.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Wei. You too.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy holidays, everyone.
All right. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And we will see you in 2022. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.